What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Barry Hearn. You know, they wanted his quick reaction on how he felt about Jarrell Miller, and he basically said, hey, Jarrell Miller missed out on 6 million plus. Okay? What was he thinking? Did he actually think that he could get away with what he was doing with that many substances? You know, he said Jarrell Miller is not the only one. A lot of fighters that are doing this. He mentioned Tyson Fury also. He said Tyson Fury failed the drug test. You know, and he was regarding to the drug test against, of course, Vladimir Klitschko, the rematch. You know, and he also stated that we have to get this out of the sport of boxing. You know. Now, as far as Barry, I don't want to keep just hammering Jarrell Miller because, yeah, he's a drug cheat. We get it. But Barry Hearn is right, you know, and he just didn't just focus on Jarrell Miller. But it is a shitty thing to do. But what most importantly is, how do we stop it from happening? You know, of course, we could go the Carl Froch way and, you know, hey, ban him for life. Because this has to stop. This really does. You know, Barry Hearn has a point because, you know, as long as he's been around, he's seen certain things. And then what we're witnessing now in the sport of boxing and other sports, that drugs, performance-enhancing drugs, are just on the uproar, okay? They're becoming more popular and more normal. And that's sad because that's telling you that it's becoming more acceptable in these fighters' lives and career and their choices. You know, like he asked what Jarrell Miller was thinking. Jarrell Miller was thinking like a lot of fighters decided to think. Hey, this might make me faster, stronger, give me an edge. But it does have to stop because it is killing the sport of boxing. If you look at the amount of boxers that failed drug tests, Willie Monroe himself, Luis Ortiz, you know, guys like that, you know, they make those decisions and they pay for those decisions. And those decisions cost them time and it costs them money. And that would be my counterpunch on it. It would be money. You know, like I've stated before, guys, they're doing this ultimately for what? Money. Okay? Income. Well, make the cheating not worth the risk. Okay? If you think that you're taking performance-enhancing drugs to make you faster, stronger, and to do a certain type of performance to get money, okay, fine you money when you find out that you're using. Plain and simple. That's what I think they should do with drug cheats or anybody that tests positive or pop positive. Now, to be fair on the Tyson Fury thing, it was drugs. So banned substances, it's a case-by-case basis still because Tyson Fury, you know, was on a binge. Okay? That's like, banned substances are an exception. It's almost like this. Almost like being a sex offender, right? You go to jail for a sex offender, people might think the worst possible thing about you. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, you know, you might have got busted for pissing in a closed playground at 1 o'clock in the morning, right? But you're a sex offender, you know, so that's not necessarily the same thing versus, you know, Chester the molester, you know? So, you know, to be fair about that, Tyson Fury didn't pop positive for something that was trying to make him stronger. No, he was just using drugs. He had a drug problem. You know, like David Benavidez tested positive for cocaine. You know, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. got tested positive for marijuana. So, I mean, those things are not the same to me. But you don't know. They're still banned substances for a reason. So some of those rules should apply, you know. So that's not exactly the same thing. And I think, you know, that was Barry just throwing Tyson in there, you know what I mean, just to make that fill out. But no, I don't think that's the same. But they are banned and they are restricted and they should stop using, you know. I'm really particular about stuff like EPO and GW 1516 and, you know, human growth hormone, that type of chemicals. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, Barry was right for, in that regard, because I don't know what Jarrell Miller was really thinking. You know what I mean? Hey, I got tested positive for one. Then you tried another one and got tested positive for that. Now, mind you, when they tested him for the sample A, that means between the sample A and the sample B, he had to take some new shit to register in the B sample. You know what I mean? So it was like, I think Jarrell Miller said this, you know what? Because I forget what channel it was. I read a video. They said maybe he took a cocktail. I'm like, no, it couldn't have been a cocktail unless that particular test only tested this particular thing. That would be the only way a cocktail, he could have taken a cocktail and took all those drugs at one time. So, but if it's separate tests that test certain things and then they caught it in this test because this particular test was testing this thing, okay, I get it. But, but if these are separate tests and he retook them and they were testing for everything, across the board, that means he took something right in between. He might have said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to take this now, get myself buff. I'm going to be buff boy, cheeseburgers, So that means that he had to take that after he took a test, knowing, why would you do that? But most people that are on drugs that like to pass drug tests, I know a lot of people that like to piss still. You say, hey man, can I use your pee? Because I don't do anything. So, you piss for them and they're like, okay, now I'm going to smoke directly after the test. So I get that. That makes sense because, if you're using someone else's stuff, but it's hard to do that against VADA. You know what I mean? They're taking the drug out, the blood out of you, their samples out of you. They're watching you do it, right? That's your blood. You can't get your blood confused with someone else or someone else's arm. Put another arm up. You know what I mean? Like, no, there's no way possible that could happen. So, but no, Barry Hearn is right. Is right, but he is right about that. They should ban. Not for life, but they should suspend or fine these fighters more enough to make them think 2 to 3 to 4 times before ever even considering to take a banned substance or a performance-enhancing drug. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Barry Hearn's statements. Of course, please subscribe. You guys been counterpunched. Peace.